Three, two, one. What's happening, guys? This is Logan Robinson from Hear the Spear, presented to you by Noel Game Day. It is Thursday afternoon here in Tallahassee, 2 days away from Florida State versus number 5 Notre Dame. With me today, we've got quite a bit of co-hosts now. With me today is Nate Greer, our lead recruiting insider. We got Austin Veazey, our lead basketball writer. We got Dustin Lewis, our lead writer and editor. And then also with us, our new member to Hear the Spear, former Noel 2013 national champion, NFL running back, Karlos Williams. What's up? What's up? What's good, everybody?
What's going on, man? What's going up?
Great day. Great day to be a Noel.
It is. It's always a great day.
Great day to be a Noel.
I just finished my exam. I feel pretty solid about it. I had one yesterday that I felt really good about, and I'm done with exams. It's midterm week, so I'm done. I'm ready just to kind of sit back, relax, watch football tonight. Hopefully the Bucs lose because screw Tom Brady. And, yeah, that's about it. I just want to talk football now until we get to kickoff. Prime time, what is it, 7:30 kickoff for FSU Notre Dame?
Yes, 7:30.
I love it. I love it. Dustin, are you covering on Twitter like last week?
I got to if you're just going to put me on the spot.
Yeah. Oh, man. But, yeah, how are y'all feeling about – I mean, we could kind of jump into a few things here. I just want to let everybody know that you can listen to this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. Hit that subscribe button, even if you're also on YouTube. We've seen a lot of new members come over there. So make sure you hit the subscribe button on wherever you're listening to this from. But, yeah, let's jump into things. Why not? Let's get to it. Nate, you might want to lead us into this one. You got some news yesterday evening about a potential commit to Florida State happening pretty soon. Do you want to talk about him?
Sure. You know, everyone has been wondering what's going on with Sean Bree Jackson out of Orlando. You know, for a while he's been a lean to Florida State. Been kind of floating around with Alabama a little bit, but you know, Florida State's kind of been the team since they offered him a scholarship back early in the year. So there's been a little bit of smoke that he was going to make a decision by the end of October, which is kind of right on that timeline. But got some word yesterday that he's going to announce today, and he's going to go ahead and make that official and join Florida State's 2021 class. And it's a big time commitment for Florida State. It's a 4-star defensive lineman. I believe while he's a D end right now, I think he's gonna be a 3 technique in college.
Nate.
Yeah.
Quick question, Nate. How do you feel? Okay, with the talent we have across the board.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I watched the clip. I watched the clip today on Twitter today. And it was showing the tight end again at Miami, number 9, sealing off an inside zone run in a 3 technique at the time was Corey Durden. And and when I think about the guys that were here, I kind of stopped following recruiting because recruiting kind of got iffy after the Derwin James effect. And I call it the Derwin James effect because Derwin was the last real 5-star recruit, in my opinion. He was the last real, Jalen Ramsey, Deion Sanders, T-Buck, those real Myron Rolls that we had, to come through Florida State. We recruited great safeties. I was a great one coming out of high school. Tyler Hunter was great. LaMarcus Brutus. I mean, we had guys that came in my class that were considered 4 and 5 stars. We had Marvin's on the front line, and he is a potential first-round pick. Durden could be a potential pick. So, I seen what Deion said about recruiting. 4 and 5 stars are great. I want the guy with the most heart. And hearing how great this kid is, he's active. He can move inside or outside. He can play the 0. He can play the 3. He can play the 5 or 5, 9. I'm just and at this point in the recruiting game, I'm waiting to see when these kids come on campus, when they get to a spring practice. That kind of stuff is going to really set the tone. I'm happy to hear about it. That's really big for us. The D-line, we're going to have a couple guys leave this year. So I'm really excited about hearing about that commitment.
Yeah, I completely 150% agree with you. One of the things I was going to say is that, the way it looks, Florida State, despite the perceived struggles right now with the team and everything, they're still able to land what's considered, blue chip.
Big time recruit.
Yep. But the thing that excites me about Chambry is, well, I believe you should always take big athletes. You should always load up on the trenches. And for me, he's someone, if you watch his tape, he's an unfinished product, but his motor never stops.
That's true. That's what I love about
and one thing that you kind of said about Durden is one of the things about Durden since he's been at Florida State is his lack of consistent effort. It's not necessarily about the talent; it's about the fact that he's not always trying and is simply kind of lazy at times. And I don't
that.
think
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think
I agree.
Chambry's the kind of guy who, someone that plays hard and gets after it. That's something that is going to carry over to college. There's a reason why Corey Durden was a 3-star, and one of the reasons why when you watch his tape was that he was oftentimes took plays off and seemed very lazy in high school.
Okay,
and that's carried over, in my opinion.
And
in college,
you can kind of tell on film. You can kind of tell on film. You watch the game, and you have, and Florida State is known for what? We have great DBs. Mm-hmm. We have great linebackers. We have great D-line. And what's that? That's all the defense. We're known for having great defense. Marvin is a great D tackle. He set the standard for that class coming in, and the guys came in just like we had Tim Eaton. Before that, we had Everett Dawkins, Anthony McLeod. We had Roderick Bunkley. I mean, we had guys that came in every year that were consistently putting it on. And it's hard to see our team and our up front when you got, the team running literally downhill inside zone for an entire game. They're not running nothing difficult. They're doubling the nose. They're single blocking the 3 technique, and they're kicking out the 5, and they're running it right down the middle, and there's no penetration. There's a tight – in the NFL, they said the most sacks happen when tight ends block defensive ends or D linemen, or you get a D end on a running back. There's no way Corey Durden should have been blocked by that tight end. I think it was pure effort.
And the fact that he got turned around.
Yes.
It's just not acceptable.
In the red zone,
and when you watch Miami, they run a lot of inside zone. That's the primary run scheme. So they should know coming in downhill that they were going to run right at you. And that's just a lack of want to. And it doesn't matter what Adam Fuller has or doesn't have scheme-wise. If he doesn't have the pieces, it doesn't matter. And now,
we got a piece today. I will say that I love hearing stuff like that. We have a whole new coaching staff, a new recruiting coordinator. We're picking the pieces to our own puzzle, and that's something that you really don't get a chance to do. I think at Florida State, we have to start recruiting who we want to fit us again. We recruit. Think about this: in the recruiting class, we only had 1 6'6" receiver when I was on campus. We didn't have 3 or 4 6'5+ receivers on campus. No, because we needed 1 Kelvin Benjamin. We didn't need 2 or 3. We needed 1 because KB was going to be in for them 3 years. And we wanted KB to know that, hey, you're the big red zone target. You're going up top for it. We let him know that. We're recruiting a bunch of kids. And kids are committing, and then when they're not touching the field, transfer portals filled up with a bunch of kids from Florida State. Well, my question is, should y'all been here in the first place? And at times I do feel bad, but are you Florida State material? And I think that's where Deion was going. And so I'm excited about the new commit. It's a D-line commit. I love D-line, and I love getting those big boys in there. And the way Coach Storms is transforming guys in the weight room, you seen Amari this offseason. He went from a stick figure to he looked like a mannequin doll. He's huge. He's playing fast. He's playing good football. So that big commit, D-lineman commit, I'm excited for it. After seeing a lot of news of how I've been playing, I'm kind of waiting to see where it goes from there. If he's going to enroll in early, if he's going to hit spring practice, knowing how pandemic is going, a lot of stuff is going to trickle out. I'm prepared to see how the recruiting game is going to go coming into the spring.
Yeah, I agree. You got to find guys that aren't lacking, and that's something that has been a problem the last 3 or 4 years of just people giving up on plays in crucial moments too. And it's not good. It goes straight to recruiting.
Going back to that Corey Durden play that you guys were talking about on Twitter earlier today, the next clip in that sequence is the tight end going up against like a 6'2", 220, 230-pound linebacker, and the linebacker absolutely whoops him. So, it really just goes back to the heart, the want to, the drive. And, at this point, it's very fair to question that because we know how much talent these guys have. They've showed it in spurts. But when they can't put it together consistently, it doesn't really matter. It leads to the ugly results that we're seeing on the field week in and week out so far.
I don't remember how many running backs rushed for over 100 yards on us my junior and senior year. my sophomore year. My freshman
Not
year.
Many.
I don't remember how many backs. I guarantee you, not many backs rushed for 100 yards when I was in college. That wasn't flying.
I think there was two. No way in I think two.
That's it. That's for 4 years.
I think Michael Dyer did.
Yep, Michael Dyer from Louisville,
and a lot of that was in the first half.
Trey Mason from Auburn.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Louisville, who ran the scoreboard up on us. They ran the scoreboard up on us, and we played our game and won. And then we played that championship game, and then also, the Heisman Trophy runner-up. Mm-hmm. He's a finalist. Of course, if he don't rush for 100, then yeah. So I'm prepared for the recruiting game. I was really, really surprised. I saw that clip on Twitter, and I'm like, wow, like Corey, like you came in here, and you're not a small guy. You came in with a lot of hype and transferring in, so I expected you to be better. So I didn't expect a tight end to block you out of the hole.
If anyone's ever seen Corey, he's a big guy.
Yes.
He's all at 6'4", 6'5", all at 300 pounds. He's wide. He's big. There's no reason why, while Reverend Jordan's probably him or Pitts are the best tight ends in the country, he's just still, as Karlos said, still tight ends should struggle against three technique and defensive linemen.
You know what it is, though? I put it this way. Just like you talk about, when we played against Notre Dame, I scored a touchdown early in the game, and it looked like I wasn't going to score. But Jalen Smith, who's a starting linebacker for the Cowboys, met me in the hole, and I literally threw him off to score that touchdown. Want to know why? Because we don't score inside the red zone against Notre Dame, we're going to lose. Mm-hmm. Yes, we lost to Georgia Tech. We got 3 points. No, 3 points and 3 times inside the red zone. That's not good. Yeah, we had to score because we didn't. Notre Dame was going to win that game. Corey Durden, if you don't get off the block and tackle this man in the backfield, Miami's going to run the ball down your throat, and that's what they did.
Mm-hmm. Which is, scary leading up to, what they face this week against the best offensive line in the country.
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. We're gonna get to it there, but
one more thing.
They're gonna be able to run the ball.
While we're on Corey, for me, I just don't want to see him play until he can fix it. If he's not going to put forth the effort, just don't play him. I'd rather just run with True and Ray and Cooper when he, hopefully he can come back this week and love it. I would just sit him until he can figure his shit out.
Do you trust the other guys to make the play that he not gonna make?
I think the other guys will give more effort.
Okay, both.
And that's a start.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Let me move on here because we got a couple more quick hitters to go through. Bryce McGowan's Austin. This one came out of left field like we were talking about in the production meeting, but Bryce McGowan's 5-star decommits from Florida State and Coach Hamilton. Is Florida State still in it? What's going on there?
Yeah, he kind of shocked everybody, and by everybody, I do mean everybody, including his former classmates and some of the staff, by decommitting this morning. By all accounts, Florida State's still in it. I think he's just testing the waters, and I know Kentucky just got recently interested in him, which Kentucky's class right now is horrible. They really need some pieces there, so I'm not surprised that they're going after somebody. And talking with a couple people, he's one of those guys that he really needs his shots to get going. And coming in with Jalen Worley and Matthew Cleveland, he's not going to get the shots he wants. So I was surprised at first, and the more I hear about it, the more I talk to people, I'm not as surprised. But Florida State's still definitely in it.
Yeah, we had him on, before I know football season started, but we had Bryce on to talk about his commitment, and he definitely seemed like a guy that wanted to stick with Florida State. But I mean, that's the thing though. When you're surrounded by talent, definitely for basketball, when you got 5-star after 5-star, it gets to the point where some of these cats want to be to have a chance to get more PT or really just be the one that's the star. And now that's a problem.
I'm trying to win. I want to win, so I want to go where all the 5-stars at. I want to go where all the guys that want to go win at. I'm hitting guys' phone. Hey, bro, you trying to win? I'm trying to win. Like, that's all I care about. I mean, I don't think I think that's crazy. I mean, why you decommit and it's almost like, do you trust a girl because she spent every day with you, all of a sudden she don't want to spend no time with you?
Uh-huh.
So you tell me that we together and we're exclusive, and all of a sudden now we're not exclusive. So what do you want me to think? Do I recruit you? Do I call your phone? Do I invite you out to dinner? What do I do?
Dustin, you got the best advice for that. You got the best advice for that. You're the dating man.
I committed in my sophomore year, and I stayed solid. I went to USC. I went to Miami. I went to LSU. I went to Ohio State. I'm not tripping. I was going to Florida State. I'm going to Florida State.
So do you think that's probably what's going on here for Bryce? Obviously, Leonard Hamilton's on a roll, but you think that's what he is, kind of like you were saying also, Austin, just testing the waters, maybe go on a few different visits and stuff like that?
I think kids are more scared now to be committed and go on a recruiting visit. You don't want to be mistreated, or you don't want to not have your visit what you want it to be. Because a lot of kids go on recruiting visits now just go see schools. I'm committed to my school. I want to go see California. I want to go see what Ohio State look like. I want to go to Death Valley in Louisiana.
Yeah.
I wanted to see those. I wanted to see that environment. So I went. But a lot of kids are scared now. It's all about showing the kids off the new jerseys or the new facilities and all this kind of stuff, making the kid feel like the man. With all these kids having the transfer portal and having the ability to commit when they want to, you're giving them way too much freedom. And then you want to pay these kids. All that kind of stuff trickles into these decisions that they're making. And decommitting is, that goes a long way. A lot of people don't see it as a real hard situation, but when you're committing to a school, you're not just committing to the football program. You're committing to that community. You're committing to the fans. You're committing to the alumni, to the former players. You're committing your life to that school and that education that you're going to go get. So you got to be prepared for it. I feel like a lot of kids commit because, the school's hot right now. School's winning. They're ranked, or a school got a great recruiting class. We're 1 and 2. Surprisingly that we have the number 1 recruiting class, we holding on to it. I am very surprised. But I wouldn't be surprised if more kids decommitted if we lose more games. I won't be surprised. But I think that, decommit is just to play the game.
It's funny with McGowan's because we got him on right after Jalen Worley committed, and that was a third 5-star basically. And at the time he welcomed it. He's like, we got all these guys that can score and pass and distribute the ball. We can do everything. And now looking at it, you're like, this is a little bit interesting. And we just saw his brother leave Pittsburgh to go to Nebraska, so I guess it runs in the family. I don't know.
It sounds like someone's been in his ear. Maybe some negative recruiting about Leonard Hamilton not letting him get his shots off or not a fit for the offense or whatnot. It sounds like someone's been in his ear.
Yeah, we're the closest team to win the national championship this year in basketball.
Yeah, that was us.
We are literally we're gonna win the ACC. You know how hard it is to win the ACC in basketball. Mm-hmm. That'll be like Vanderbilt, like coming out of nowhere and having like these awesome recruiting classes, and then all of a sudden they're competing with Duke and North Carolina. No, I'm saying, you get what I'm saying? They're competing with Bama and the LSU and you know what I'm saying? So Florida State came out of nowhere. We've been decent in basketball. I was here when Michael Snare was hitting late point 3-point shot. You know what I'm saying? I was here when Snare was busting them things. I was here for that. And then we fell off the face of the earth. Like, we were okay. We were a decent basketball school. Like, know what I'm saying? I was here when Kofor first got here, when he transferred in. And it was still not a great winning culture. And now we're competing to win the ACC. They said we were going to win the championship if pandemic didn't start. So
I was going to be there. I was going to make my ass.
Decommit if you feel. But if Florida State win a championship this year and your team to make the tournament, I'm not going to feel bad.
No. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see what his path leads him. But like Austin said, he's probably still feeling Florida State in there a good amount.
Hope so.
I will say, if he does decide to move on, keep out for Dallin Coleman. If that's the guy we end up going with, is another top 50 guy. We went after him for a long time. For a while, we were his favorite. So now that another spot's open up on the wing, I'd keep an eye on him.
Just another top 50 guy. No big deal. Just a Leonard Hamilton way right now. Yeah. Let's see here. Quick hitters. Jalen Rams. Let's just talk a little NFL here, because we haven't had time to really talk about it. We've been talking about Florida State and the failures, blah, blah, blah. Too much depression the last few weeks. Let's talk about some NFL stuff. I want to talk about Jalen Ramsey. I want to talk about Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook right now is leading the league in rushing. I think he's the best back in football right now.
Cookie's the best back in football.
Cookie. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Hands
I
down.
mean, I'm tired of people arguing with me. I don't know what else. I mean, they're really just ignorant trolls on Twitter, but I don't know who they're naming. I mean, I'm already tired of the Saquon Barkley hype. I don't think he's just ever going to come up to what everybody thought he was going to be.
I mean, he did what, tear his hamstring or his ACL a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, he tore
ACL.
his
ACL.
Yeah, I
Here's my
just
thing.
like I would take Dalvin over Barkley any day of the
What
week, and that's
culture?
not just like bias. I just maybe because I saw him in person play, and he saved Florida State in a lot of ways. But I mean, maybe that's just the case. Maybe I saw him in person. But Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Rhodes is popping off right now. 2 interceptions, a pick 6. He might have more interceptions, but I saw in that one game he had 2. And
Brian
good for
Burns is
Xavier,
playing
man.
really well too.
Yep.
Who?
In Carolina, Brian Burns.
And Josh Sweat
Yes.
has
Oh, yeah.
a couple sacks too.
Mm-hmm.
Good football across the league by nose.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
a couple more weeks, Saints are gonna have to put in Jameis. I'm telling you.
It's gonna have to happen.
He don't got it
really
no
is.
more.
Nah,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, they're gonna put Taysom Hill in.
That would be
hope
so
not.
disrespectful.
It would be
would be.
disrespectful. I mean, I think Jameis, you producing 30+ touchdowns in the season.
doesn't Jameis look good? I mean,
Yeah.
body wise, he looks like how
Yeah.
he did whenever he came in right at FSU.
He looks amazing. I mean, he works his butt off though. Like he works his butt off.
He went vegan, I think, this offseason. I think he did. I mean, I think he went vegan, but he like lost a lot of weight, but he worked his tail off at home watching videos and stuff. But yeah, I'm liking the NFL. We'll see what's tonight. Bucks, Bears. Screw Tom.
Who y'all
Brady.
got?
You got
Logan, who you got?
I'm never pulling for the Bucks after what they did
Okay.
to
Dustin,
Jameis,
who you
so
got?
I'm going Bears.
I'm not pulling for the Bucks, but I think that they're probably gonna win this one. I'm not confident in the
At
Bears.
Chicago.
as a diehard Vikings fan. I
No
refuse
fans,
to
yeah.
Ever pick Chicago? So go Bucks.
Nate, what you
Fire the
got?
cannons.
I'm a Chicago fan, so
Are you really?
yeah.
I had no idea.
No, we had no clue.
Not worth
So
bringing
you're
up.
a Nick Foles fan.
Huh?
You're a Nick Foles fan.
Hell no. Hell no.
Okay. Did you like Mitchell? Did you like the Mitchell
No,
pick?
that was a horrible pick.
Why?
I get like,
Who would you have picked?
looking back
Shit,
at that time, I would have picked probably Deshaun Watson, but not knowing that Mahomes was going to be what he's turned out to be. I would not have picked Mitchell Trubisky.
Whoa, Nate! I'm gonna scroll over so I can see your picture when I say this. You didn't know Pat Mahomes was gonna be Pat Mahomes?
I don't think anyone did.
Yeah, I don't think anyone did.
Y'all
anyone
wasn't watching enough football. That's why.
Nah, I watched him a lot.
Listen, time out, guys. Watch Texas Tech play Oklahoma, and now I want you to go on the rosters and look at who's on that roster at Oklahoma when Texas Tech played them. That boy lit that scoreboard up with Texas Tech talent.
You gonna sign up to be GM? What you doing? You need to start
saying,
applying if that's the case.
All I'm saying is that I've been watching drafts since I've not been playing ball, and you see a lot of teams draft. Oh, I want the best guy off the board. It's like recruiting to me. And personally, you have to draft what fits you. Chase Young is probably the best player in the draft. He went to Washington for no reason. Look at Washington's D-line is already stacked. They got 2 Bama boys at D-tackle. They got good ends, and their linebackers are always experienced. Their back end always the one that's hurting. So why you go draft Chase Young? Because you just wanted him off the board, so nobody else could have him. And right now he's not even playing because he's hurting already in week 4 or 5.
Yeah.
You you killed him. You literally killed him. He's pass rushing every single play. You're gonna burn him out. Y'all picked him for no reason. Y'all didn't get Dwayne Haskins no weapons.
Yeah, they benched him, didn't they?
Yeah, they just benched him because you got him no weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Who he's throwing the ball to?
I don't know anymore. All I remember is like Crowder being there, but I don't think he's there anymore.
How you Pittsburgh boys doing this week? How they gonna do this
We
week?
doing good. I need your brother. I need them to stay safe and not get any kind of that COVID mess, man.
He's leading the league in tackles for loss right now.
Is he really?
Yes, he has 8 tackles for loss right now.
If you're just not listening, and obviously Los is going to be on here every week, but if you don't, I had people asking me, I don't know if it was in Crew or Discord, but they're asking me, wait, is Karlos's brother Vince Williams? And I'm like, Oh, help me. But I can't make fun of him. There's times where I slip up and I don't remember some stuff.
You know,
but
though, people,
Vince
even when we
Williams
got
is a
to Florida
starting.
State, people were like, y'all are brothers? I'm like, yeah, like that's how we vibe. We just two different people.
But yeah, Vince Williams is a starting linebacker for Pittsburgh. He's been how many years now?
This is year what? This would be year 6, year 8 for me. Year 8 for him. It'll be year 6 for me.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, he's been going at it for a while, man. He's been banging it out for a while. I mean, he loves it there. The culture is there is amazing. I was there in 16. The culture
How is
there.
Tomlin? I like Tomlin.
Unbelievable. He's unbelievable. He is literally one of the best hands. I wouldn't say players. I mean, he's a player's coach, but he's business oriented. Like he is. Hey, we come into the workplace. We finna clock in, finna put the hours in, and we finna make sure we get this good work in. We can go home. Y'all, gentlemen, y'all go home. You know what I'm saying? He makes sure the time he's spending on the field is put towards winning the game he's preparing for. And I think that's what makes organizations different. That's an organization that's always competing for a Super Bowl or AFC championship.
Mm-hmm.
They're never not relevant. They're never not talked about as being a winning organization. That's something that sets them apart.
Yeah, and last season, I mean, somehow he pulled through and had it. Oh, we couldn't just have a Steelers podcast if we want to. We'll just do that. Let's jump in. Let's give just our quick little recap. Well, actually, let's jump down at the bottom here to Norvell not happy with Wednesday's practice. And, he talked about, I watched the interview and he was pretty ticked off. It seemed like the players weren't consistently buying into the practice, not a lot of energy. Guys were slacking. And, I'm glad you kind of get, Jimbo did that all the time. He'd be pissed off and he'd tell the media and it would kind of riled up maybe the players. Los can tell you about it, but I like it. Be straightforward and we'll get to it. But I also like the way Norvell is, I don't know, on the sideline against Jacksonville State, Jerry and Jones had a personal foul, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, late hit.
Yeah, late hit, and it was clipped on Twitter. Of course, Twitter's just giving us everything, but it was clipped where Norvell was just going in on him. Cussing him out. And then the interview after the game, post-game interview, he was asked about it, and he said, I probably am not allowed to say this or something like that. I don't really want to share what I was saying to him. I'd probably be canceled. But I love it. It's a whole 180 from what we saw with Willie Taggart, where you're just tapping the helmet and, letting him go by after making a silly mistake, not only 1, twice, 3 times. And we saw it with Dontavius Jackson. Get on him. That's how it should be. That it's football. We're not playing tennis. We're not swimming and diving. Get in their ass. If they're making a stupid mistake.
If you watch after that too, Jones played probably the best he's played in the first few games at Florida State. He responded to that and played a lot better. And that's good to see that.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Did Jimbo do that stuff on purpose? Where would you actually have bad practices and he would say it to the media, or was Jimbo making up stuff?
There'll be times. There'll be times where you have too many MAs. I think in a practice you should have no more than 3 MAs. That's a missing assignment, and that's for each individual player. I'm talking about guys that's in the game playing, guys that's getting reps. 3 MAs. I'm talking about in a week, not in a day. In a week. Mm-hmm. You go to practice and everybody got 4 or 5 MAs. You messed up a blitz period or this and that. It's a simple lack of focus. We're human. One, college kids, we got other stuff going on. Maybe a test, maybe a female. A lot of stuff could be happening. But what Jimbo helped us do was when we walk inside those gates, everything dies, but us. It's about. He literally would tell y'all can get the fuck off. Y'all get off my field because it's mine. I don't care about nothing else when we come inside this gate but winning football games.
Oh, I would be there. Yeah, I'd be there at practice.
Talking about anything else or you doing anything else, you can just get out of practice. Mm-hmm. And so, Jimbo kind of set that tone. I think Norvell's doing it. I think he's going to do it his own way. And I appreciate the fact he cussed 7 out. Cuss him on out. And what did you say, Nate? He played he responded. Yeah. I think wasn't he at Mississippi State? He was there with Dan Mullen. You heard what Dan Mullen just said? I want to beat your ass every time we play thumb wrestle or a tic-tac-toe, whatever it may be. I want to win. I want to beat your ass. And Norvell is slowly but surely changing the culture in his own way at his own time. I think Dan Mullen going to Florida was familiar. So you get what I'm saying? But I'm saying 7 had that same coach that's telling the guys down in Florida, hey, go out there and whoop their ass. I think Norvell told him what he needed to hear to get him to play better. And I'm good for that. I'm all good on that.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, that's how it needs to be. And that's how you start. You know, the culture is going to take a while to change, but it's the beginning. And it's a hard job for Mike Norvell right now. It is a very tough job. I mean, we were just talking about 16 earlier, but it is going to take a good while to change a lot of these things.
Do you believe that it takes a long time to turn a program around?
I think it takes 2 to 3 years.
You remember when we beat Saban in the Gator Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
You remember we beat Bama right before Saban got there?
I was there.
Same. I was too.
Right before Saban got there. Saban got there, I think, the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Bama switched. It took a season. A season. Want to know why? Because Saban went in on a mission. I'm going to handpick my guys. I'm going to do cherry pick and drop these guys I don't want off a cliff. You're on your own. I mean, it had to be that way. I think that's how you change a culture. I don't mind these guys hitting the transfer portal. Bye-bye. Mm-hmm. Do your thing. You didn't touch the grass anyway. No hard feelings, but if you can't sit here and fight and really go in every day to compete for a starting job, then you don't need a starting job.
I do think Saban's a bad example. He's probably the best head coach in the history of college football. But yeah, I just think that the end of the Fisher era was not, it wasn't great. And then, we all can say what we want to say about Willie Taggart, but he had no accountability whatsoever. So I think that, they were handcuffed with the APR stuff. They really couldn't kick the guys off that they wanted.
True.
And now that they've kind of fixed that, I think that you're starting to see, all these guys are entering the portal. You're starting to see them cutting that dead weight. And
Nate, I like you, Nate. You said that Saban was a bad example. I give you a better one. Ogeron, 2 years at LSU. Tell me I'm wrong.
Les Miles did a good job of. Les Miles got the talent there. Ogeron just put him on top.
Yeah. I wouldn't say Ogeron. I'd say Joe Brady.
I'd say
Joe Brady.
Guys, you guys are now you guys are making excuses. We at Florida State, bro.
I know.
We had talent at LSU. No, they didn't have no talent at LSU. Those guys wanted to play for Ogeron.
Yeah.
Who the fuck was Burrow? He transferred from Ohio State because he was not going to play. He went to LSU, got dogged, and he made a way for himself. My issue is this, and I don't like giving these guys excuses because you're at Florida State. You're not
standing up now.
Yeah,
you're standing up now.
You're not at Marshall. You're not at Marshall. You're not in the Big East. You're not at AAC. Like UCF, we're the best school in Florida. Got y'all ass mudded. Like you're at Florida State. My whole thing is this. I feel like that's an excuse. That's an excuse. LSU did it. Why can't y'all do it? Oh, because of talent? We don't got talent at Florida State. We ain't got 5-star or 4-star recruits. We ain't got guys that can read a playbook and learn how to go tackle and run the football and catch a ball. It's an excuse. LSU had guys that bought in. Ogeron was a coach. Hey, I'm going to go down here and we're going to play good football. And we're going to go tackle. They bought in. They didn't want to buy into Taggart because Taggart wanted to listen to the Plies and 2 Chainz. Norvell going to cuss you out and get in your ass. That's the difference. So it may take 2 or 3 years, but, I mean, it takes the individual to come in and change that culture.
Let me ask you this, though, kind of because I agree with what you're saying. But you look at strength and conditioning. They spend more time with you than anyone, right? In college, it's always that's something that LSU's done well, irregardless of who the coaches have been. They've kind of been able to maintain, Moffitt and all that. Florida State had a major drop off there, from Valoria, having his battles off the field, and bringing a guy who got a piece of paper off a website school, and I can't even pronounce his name. I don't really care to pronounce his name. So I think that's where Florida State's really struggled is that off-field development.
Nate,
and I think combine that whole picture of lack of accountability, lack of development, lack of a strength and conditioning program, lack of guys who want it. I think that's why FSU's at where they're at.
But Nate, attitude reflect leadership, and I'm not finna blame no ass man for making me lift and run and be ready to play football. I want to make money and be a millionaire. I got to do that work. Ain't nobody told me, Vince, Nigel. Nobody told Florida State from 2008 until 2013, 2014 to work their ass off. Nobody had to tell us that, Nate. And I think that's the issue. In the time frame where we are now, I think the world is easier to be like, okay, you know what, the kids had this, or the kids going through that, or we're going through this. Nobody gave a rat's ass when we was doing that. Nobody cared about Jameis when they were riding Jameis' ass to the dirt for screaming obscenities out in public. He's a kid. He wasn't a kid then. What I'm saying is, though, I think there's too many excuses, or coaching change, or strength. Man, no, bro. If you want to get right, you know how to get up and take your behind to the weight room. You know how to eat. You know how to train. You live there every single day. So, yeah, can I hold a coach accountable? Yes. But the players are the guys that's on the field making the plays. Absolutely. You have to be ready to play the game. Now, game plan, play calling, that's a coach. But effort, making sure I'm prepared to play on Saturdays, being at the right weight, lifting the right weight, eating the right food, being in shape, that's on the athlete, not a grown man. Because I don't care what Coach Vic ever told me to do. I was in the weight room before my lift time. Mm-hmm. Like my run group, we were there on time. We were accountable. We ran faster than anybody ever recorded because we were breaking speedometers and heart monitors because we wanted to. We wanted to compete to be the best. And I think that the kids aren't competing the same way.
Yeah, I'd still run your ass over too. So I mean, you can look that. You can look that big all you want.
You can keep dreaming.
I think that also I think what goes into it, and I feel really passionate about this, is that portal's giving guys a advantage if they don't want. Yeah, it's a
right
cop
here.
Out.
It's giving them this.
Yeah,
I can get re-recruited.
Yeah. As I want to say, there's no de-recruitment period now. No. You hear the stories of Coach Pruitt just going in on Jalen Ramsey when he's a freshman. Saying Nick Saban was right. Should have never offered you. You should have stuck at USC. Just dogging this kid. He did that for a reason because he knew what he could have been.
$105 million.
Yep. And there's no de-recruitment of these kids, and they come in and they don't. Some of them are already pampered. Some of them are already kind of,
I agree, Nate. 100%. I agree with you.
And I think the fact that you can't really de-recruit a kid, or else they're going to up and leave because they don't have it upstairs. I think it gives them a easy cop out. So it's just.
Dang, you're right.
That's not. I don't know, man.
I mean, I'd be around Jameis. I mean, that was whenever you were there too, Karlos. That's where I met you, was around that time. And I'd be around Jameis and in the locker room after the games. And Jimbo didn't want him to leave the stadium. He always wanted to have Jameis stay there because he was going to get all the people around him and all that kind of stuff, and all the controversy was going on then. But Jameis wanted to leave, and he was about to leave out of the Moore. And I was up there with Jimbo, and Jimbo was pissed. I mean, he was laying bombs. Who was it? Coach or Odell Higgins was looking at me and said, "Oh, here we go again. Kids, cover your ears." And Jameis came up, I think with Kerwin, who was the
Kerwin was there.
Yeah, and Kerwin brought Jameis up, and Jimbo was like, "Why in that mother F are you thinking you're going to leave right now?" I mean, it was after a big win. So I think it was after the Miami game at home. But he was going in on Jameis. I mean, it didn't matter who it was. I mean, he was going to cuss out whoever. But I just thought I was young too. I think I was also with Dossie. Yeah, Dossie.
Okay.
Little Dossie. But yeah, I love it. I mean, that's just how it needs to be at FSU. And even recruits, but also players. What we've talked with Jacoby McDaniel and other guys, and that's how they want to be coached. They want to be coached hard. They want to be held accountable, and that's something that has lacked a lot in the last couple of years. So,
man, Jeremy Pruitt always just tell us, instead of arguing, say, "Coach me, coach." Don't give me no excuse. Say, "Coach me, coach." Yeah. It's hard. I understand it's hard. I mean, Nate, you were right. They have a cop out. They have an easy way out. I just don't agree with how we giving them more excuses, man. I mean, if you're not prepared to play, you're not going to play. The guy that cheats in the weight room or the guy that cheats during workouts isn't going to be prepared to play. And I can't, and honestly, my brother was like that. And I was a little bit more out in life than Vince. And Vince was like, "Hey, bro, I got to work. Like, I got to make sure I'm ready to go, because if I don't, Telvin's right behind me. Like, if I'm not ready to play, Telvin, you get what I'm saying?" So they're not
playing. I hope Telvin's doing all right.
To lose. They're playing like they already arrived.
Yeah,
and I think that's where my issue is falling. Like, hey, guys, you guys got to keep working. No, we're Florida State. We made it. I got the offer now. I've made it. No, you haven't. And I think that's where, like, I think we're giving them too much to fall back on sometimes. But I do agree with you, Nate.
And like Nate said earlier on in the podcast, I mean, Karlos, you were talking about holding the coaches accountable and the players being held accountable. Nate said earlier, take Corey Durden off the field if he's not going to give effort every play. Like,
True.
Why not? I mean, this season, if you guys want to look at it the way it is, this season's pretty much a wash anyway. These guys are all going to get this year of eligibility back, no matter how many snaps they play or whatnot. Why not go with the guys that you're developing for the future, that are going to play their ass off for the program and actually try, rather than the guys that are already going out there just, pretty much holding it in for an NFL paycheck that might come after the season. So, I don't know. Yeah. That's my thought.
Might come after the season.
Yeah, might.
But I'm going to call it what it is. Corey Durden is that he read his press clippings. He bought into what was being said.
Marvin too.
Maybe Marvin not as much, but Durden's just at a different mind, different up top in the head. He's not as put together as Marvin is. So I think he bought into all that offseason bullshit hype, and now look what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
Yeah.
Go.
Let's see. All right, let's jump into the segment here.
Shoot me a text. Love you, bro. All right.
Let me jump into the top worst segment real quick before we jump into the Notre Dame preview. So if you're just now listening or you're new here, we do a segment every week, and we pick top worst of a certain subject. Sometimes it's fast food. Sometimes it's injuries. I don't know. It's always all over the place. But this week we're going to do top worst video game. Everybody's going to pick which is the worst video game you played. I don't know who wants to go first, because I don't play. I mean, I play a good amount of video games, but I still need to think on one that I actually really hate.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Call of Duty.
Which one?
Yeah, there's so many.
The whole damn thing.
Oh.
Okay, Nate, you're canceled.
Because there's some
remember
really
playing
good Call of Duty.
Spiral.
We just got screwed.
Yeah.
Spiral
So
on the original PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Spiral?
That was a terrible game.
Oh.
I don't remember that one.
Exactly.
So I'm a little bit older than you guys, so nothing compares to GoldenEye in the first shooter games. That's the original. But me, I just don't have the patience to sit there and try to figure stuff out, find where the things are, and focus on the shooter. I'd rather just play NCAA and do that. So
yeah.
for me, that's
the
first game.
Austin?
My answer is completely out of left field. I'd be surprised if anyone's even heard of this. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter.
It's not good.
AKA Tom Clancy's GRAW. It is so bad.
I feel like
the controls are horrible. I remember playing it when I was like 14 on the 360. I'm like, what am I playing? What is this? This is
terrible.
I legit think I might have played that before.
I feel like I did too. I'm trying to.
I did.
I did.
So. My first game system in college was a 360. So yeah, I played it.
Oh my! I just remember it was cheap at GameStop. It was like $4. I was like, how bad can it be? I'm like, it wasn't worth $4.
I'd rather play GoldenEye.
I'm trying to think. You got one, Dustin?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Karlos go with what we were talking about earlier. I'm not gonna take his answer.
Trust me, I got them. I got a lot of video games. Trust me.
This one's better though because it'll cause more controversy. Because this is a very popular game. I think Fortnite is terrible.
Terrible. You just can't handle it. You can't build.
There's way too much stuff going on.
It is hard. It is hard game to learn. I mean, I was something I was addicted to for 2 years. I mean, I think they did a good job with what they're doing. I mean, they're still on the top games right now, and this thing was rolling in 2017, man. I mean, it's still hot, which is hard for games to do nowadays, but I do understand a lot of people. I mean, it's hard to play. I mean, the building, then you got to, figure out your shooting tactics, blah, blah, blah. It's all about your teammates too, but yeah, Fortnite's tough.
And then they're dropping 100 people at a time.
Yeah, I don't mind like the Warzone, and I used to love PUBG. Like I love that kind of game, but Fortnite itself, I hated. It was so bad.
I think it's too much extra.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why I can play Call of Duty is because Call of Duty is more, it's a lot of strategic, but Fortnite is a bunch of people run around and you get online, you playing with like 4 or 5-year-olds and they're screaming and it's a little difficult. But they say the new Call of Duty, like you can play like Warzone and run around, and I mean they say it's pretty cool. I haven't played it. I don't have a game system, but I mean, my worst is Madden. Madden sucks. Dustin, you're right.
Yeah, Madden sucks. Damn.
Madden has sucked for a long time.
Yeah,
it sucked since whatever year Adrian Peterson was on the cover.
Yep, AP.
That was the last okay one, and then ever since
Madden
it's been
25.
Trash.
It's just a roster update every year. They don't do anything to it.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like they start throwing interceptions so easy. The ball's not. I mean, you got to tap the button to throw a loaf. You got to press the button hard to throw a bullet. You remember quarterback pass precision? They used to have like a little cone to show you where to throw the ball at.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Brady's was like the whole field.
Yeah.
What was that football game with the ESPN with Terrell Owens on the cover?
NFL Street.
No.
Oh, wasn't it?
2K. It was ESPN 2K Sports.
Yeah, aren't they bringing back that series?
Yeah, but it's supposed to be more like arena. That's like, or not arena, but arcade than
like Blitz.
Yeah, kinda.
I mean, matter of fact, y'all ever played Blitz the League with Lawrence Taylor on it?
That game is ridiculous, dude.
That was a good That was a good game though. Like building your team up and players and stuff. That was a funny game. Getting shots.
You can lacerate a dude's kidney.
Yeah, it was funny, bro. Like that game was really, really funny growing up.
It's like when Madden just put Giannis Antetokounmpo in the game. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Did they really?
Yeah, they put him and his brothers, Kostas and Thanasis.
What position?
I was going to say, what position?
I don't even know. It doesn't matter.
Giannis got to play receiver or DN. Like, what are you guys going to play?
Can you imagine him at safety?
I don't see you throwing the ball because he's super fast, though.
Yeah, he's really fast.
He's pretty fast.
Yeah, he's got to be a receiver. You just put him on the outside. He ain't got to run. You just have him stand there.
Yeah. Ain't no DB going to climb him.
I don't really have one that I hate that much, but I guess I'm just going to irritate people. The Super Mario Kart, I don't know all the hype about it. I don't really understand all the hype.
Mario Kart, Logan.
Get out of here, Logan.
I don't understand all the hype. I've never really I've played it, of course, but people are like, let's go hang out and play this all night. I mean, unless I'm getting hammered, yeah. I mean, I'll play it, but.
I got one game that everybody has played and loves. It's Super Smash Bros.
I don't see the hype.
I was never a fan of Smash Bros.
You can't. What?
Yeah, I was never a fan. I mean,
Smash Bros is bro.
I was always a Microsoft and Xbox guy, so I never had Nintendo systems. Like when I'd go to my friend's house, like we'd play Mario Kart instead of Smash Bros or something else. Or like I liked Mario Party.
My best friend grew up with Nintendo, so every time we had to go over there, and no PlayStation, and no Xbox, got to play this bull. But we got really good at Smash Bros.
I'm probably gonna be canceled.
I don't know how many classes I skipped in college to play GoldenEye.
Hey, GoldenEye. You ever try to shoot the head off Odd Job?
Yeah, it's hard.
No, you can't. He dies.
No, yeah.
I found it out when I was a kid. My brother tried to shoot it off my head, and he shot me in the head and killed me.
Best game ever is Tecmo Bowl. So
I never had a chance to play it.
Super Tecmo Bowl.
Never played it.
My oldest brother got a chance to play it. I didn't get. Is that
when they had the carriages back in your days, Nate? Is that when they had the carriages we got around in?
Fuck off.
Oh, my dad hates it whenever I tell him that. All right, let's jump into to finish this off. Let's jump into FSU versus Notre Dame preview. Florida State's facing number 5 in the country. Is it upset? It was upset week last week. It was upset week during Miami week, but Florida State didn't get the run in it. But could this be upset week for Florida State? Any takers in that? Just right off the bat, any takers?
No. Hard to pass.
No? Jordan Travis?
Hell no.
We forgot to mention also in the quick hitters, but it's obviously not that big of a loss. But Florida State DB Cyrus Fagan entered the transfer portal, I believe, Sunday, the day after the game?
He did.
Yep. Florida State's loaded there. Also, Damori Tate is not going to be playing this year. He's going with academic stuff. Academic red shirt.
Yep.
So,
which, eligibility is washed anyways.
Kelvin Benjamin had to do the same thing his freshman year.
Yep.
KB did the same thing. So, he's going to come back better. It's to get a time to spend time with the team and learn the role, learn the playbook, and then you have a chance to perform in the spring. So it's not bad. I mean, we anticipated him playing as a 5-star recruit. We want to see him on the field, but I think it'll work itself out.
Yeah.
And Damari Tate was the best cornerback in the country last year.
Yep.
In my opinion.
He was rising quick to the end.
Yes. He's 6'2", 190. So he's got height, he's got speed, he's got size.
Range. Good range.
He reminds me of Xavier Rhodes. And the fact that, he's a big guy, but despite the fact that he's big, he can move quick in short areas. He's got the long speed. He's got the long arms. He's damn good. And if he was able to play this year, I think he'd be playing major minutes right now.
Oh, he'll be a starter. He'll be a starter across from Sante. I think seven would be a better nickel. Jones. I think move him inside, be a better nickel. If you watch a lot of Mississippi State film, he is a starting quarter at Mississippi State, but he did play in the box, a lot of nickel. He's a pressure corner as well. He plays decent in space. I really was looking forward to seeing Tate play, have another 5-star DB come in. Being a DB, you'd be excited watching these guys come in, but I think it's going to benefit him. He's not losing the year of eligibility like Austin said. So, I mean, I think he's going to be fine. I think it's going to be cool having him come back, having a year under his belt without having any body damage. Honestly, not being mentally disturbed. You can kind of sit back and focus on your academics and sit in the playbook. So, I mean, it's beneficial.
It'd be like Travis J,
Yeah.
Same thing, Travis J's had a 3.0, and is probably the best football player on the team right now.
I like Travis J.
He's amazing.
So,
he's a cat. I think he's got that dog mentality.
Give him the ball.
Hope we see him Saturday.
No, they got to find a way to get him the ball in offense, man.
Yeah.
They have to.
He's a big hitter.
Have to.
Big hitter, man.
You think I moved a running back for no reason? You remember, like, okay, they can kick it to you, but I don't want to give him any points. So how else can I get him the ball?
Uh-huh.
Got to find a way.
Wilder still needs to have a written apology on your kickoff return. He had that holding that got brought back. Has he not given you a written apology yet?
We've discussed this for years, man. For years. James, he's not going to give it up. He didn't hold him. He's not going to let that go. He said, I did not hold him. So I will not be receiving any compensation.
The ref said he lied.
Yeah. I wish. Bro, beautiful return. Notre Dame, I'm excited. To be honest, I'm not looking for to go up there and go get a W. I'm not looking for us to go up there and score 40-something points. I'm looking for us to be efficient. Touchdowns in the red zone, field goals when we have to kick field goals. I don't want them to score no more than 35 points on us. I say 35 because Ian Book is one of the best quarterbacks in the country, one of the best O-lines in the country. Their defense plays consistent. I mean, they're number 5 for a reason. Do I think it's cheap because these bastards are independent? Yes. They don't play a real football schedule, and I think it's a load of crap. Yes, you get to pick who you want to play. I think that's bull, but you get to play in the ACC and basketball and everything else. It's garbage. But I expect us to go play solid football. I like the way our running backs run the football. I think if we go up there and establish the offensive line, the line of scrimmage early and run it downhill, I think we'll have success. I like the way Webb is lead blocking. I like the way
Webb
blocking. He's playing good football. Coming in,
JUCO.
Where he came from JUCO, he's playing with. I had that chip on my shoulder. I have something to prove. I'm a smaller back. It's a lot of backs on this roster. It's another transfer that's already starting coming in. What do? I got to be able to make myself valuable. He's playing good football. I like to see him and Corbin on the field at the same time, touching the ball. I want to see T9 touch the ball. I want to see young boy getting there because he's running with a purpose. As you can see, I'm saying run the football, and I'm going to explain why. I don't think our receivers are ready for this primetime kind of game. Our running backs have displayed that they can carry the load. You give them 10, 12, 15 carries apiece. I haven't seen Terry play. I know he's been hurt. Keyshawn's played decently, but he's coming off of injury. You have a couple young guys that's been playing well at receiver, but nobody to really stand out and say, I'm going to take control of the receiving room. So I'm looking for a decent run game. Let's run the ball down Notre Dame throw. Let's control the clock, which is why I want to run the ball. And let's make the game ours. If we play their game, they're going to kill us. We have to make them play our game. And our game right now is controlling the clock and running the football. If we let Ian Book touch the field, they're going to score a lot of points on us.
Yeah, I think that the 2 weeks off, I think it's going to be very similar to North Carolina last week. North Carolina was probably playing the best football out of anyone, including Clemson. 2 weeks in, I thought that offensively, defensively, they had it going, but they struggled last week. With that time off. Notre Dame has the best offensive line that Florida State's going to face, best offensive line in the country. Ian Book is an efficient quarterback. He's not going to be a guy that's going to go out and throw it all over the field. And they still don't have any answer at wide receiver. But one thing they're doing well is that they're running the ball very well. They have three guys two guys of each. One guy was player of the week the first week, and the next guy, the third string guy against USF, had over 100 yards. So they have three guys who can run the ball, and they had depth there. I think that Jordan Travis is going to bring a little bit different of a challenge to Notre Dame's defense. They have good linebackers. They don't have the depth in the middle that they normally have had. I think that, like Karlos said, I think that, they're going to have to run the ball really well. And I think that you saw some different stuff that Florida State can do. I do like the fact they pretty much changed their game plan mid-game by putting Travis in there. If you look at Atkins when he was at Tulane with a running quarterback, if you look at what Dillingham's done at Auburn, we've already talked about this on another podcast about, these coaches aren't stupid. They can scheme. And if you really watch the film and if you watch highlights, they're scheming things open. It's just mental errors here, mental errors there. I don't think that Notre Dame's going to come out and blow them off the field. No. I think if they didn't have the coronavirus break, I think maybe that's a different story. I just want to see Florida State be competitive. Last year it was not a competitive game. I just want to see them come out and fight and keep progressing. I do want to see more Toa Philly. I think he's been the overall best back on that team. Like Karlos said, he does run with purpose. He's running a lot harder than I think people expected him. Coming as a freshman. I do think Terry played his best game last week. The effort was there, blocking. In more than one instance, you could see him, driving this guy to the sideline. I think he was more consistent with his route running. So, but he also had a chance to get the ball thrown to him. Let's call it what it is. Blackman really hasn't been. He wasn't consistent, and Tate was a disaster in his fourth series. So, I just want to see a competitive football team. I don't expect a W, but I do expect a team that won't quit and it just keeps going.
Yeah, okay. Some energy. Go ahead, Dustin.
Yeah, Nate, you pretty much nailed it on the head right there. I'm not expecting Florida State to go into South Bend this weekend and come out with a victory. I want to see these guys go in, fight their asses off, show some heart, show even if you're losing on the scoreboard, you're not going to get, dominated on the field. You're not going to let yourself get caught up in the score. Like, play a full 60 minutes. And if there's – I already said it earlier, but if there's guys out there that aren't going to try and, Notre Dame goes up 14-0 early or something like that, and they're already putting their heads down and quitting like they did in the first half against Miami, take them off the field and put someone out there that wants to represent Florida State the right way. And Nate, you talked about Notre Dame's offense. They love to run the ball. Florida State's defense, that's where it's been the worst so far this season. I'm looking at Durden. I'm looking at Marvin this week to really step up in that interior, plug some gaps. Let's force some tackles for loss. Maybe some of those veteran linebackers can finally do something. Karlos, I know if Vince was here, he would have some very harsh words for those linebackers that are on Florida State's roster right now. They're producing.
But the whole thing is this, though. I should have played linebacker. You got to be aggressive. They're not taking on blocks. What I mean take on a block is you're not splitting the guard. Like, you're not – like – I don't know if you guys ever seen the clip. You guys ever seen the clip of my brother hit the lineman from Clemson at the Senior Bowl?
I don't think so.
You guys look it up. My brother Vince they ran a counter and the lineman at the Senior Bowl pulled and he ran through the gap and he ran through the sole of the guard. The back maybe got a 2-yard gain because the other back scraped over top, made a tackle. But there's nobody taking on those blocks. There's nobody running through the gap. There is nobody selling out. And, yeah, you're right. I think Vince would be pretty pissed. I mean, I think any linebacker that's been a Florida State linebacker would be pretty upset. Like, you guys aren't tackling. You guys aren't I mean, you see them fly around to the ball, but you don't see the consistency. You see guys wanting to make the play, but you don't see them making the play. And I think that's what, like Nate said, that's all you want to see. You want to see them be competitive, man. You want to see them go out there, put forth the effort, and make them. And you want to feel like they're proud to wear garden and gold. You know, we're going to play Notre Dame, and you already know how Notre Dame feels about Florida State. There's big rivalry. It's a big love lost thing there. We don't like going up there. They don't like coming down here. And when we play them tough. We play them hard, and it's going to be a battle. So like Nate said, I just hope they go out and be competitive, man. I want them to be competitive. I want to run the football. I want to score in the red zone. That's all I care about. You know what? You got going up there getting a W against number 5 in that environment, highly doubtful. But competing with them and putting up over 200 rushing yards on them and controlling the line of scrimmage and controlling the clock and not letting them score so many points, I think we can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I might throw my cell phone at the TV if I see Warner go around and try to, instead of filling the hole, go around, the blocker in that fight and hit his run fit.
You guys know what I mean, though. Like, you guys seen linebackers fill gaps. Like, it's an ISO. So the guard running downhill, or I got a fullback. I'm gonna split his helmet and I'm gonna make the play. They don't have that. It's all about I want to make the tackle. No, I hit him so my guy can make the tackle, because if I don't hit him, he's gonna block both of us, and the back is gonna be sprung.
That's why I want to see Lundy and Dix more. They're gonna make the mistakes. They're not gonna give you anything different than what they're doing now, but they're gonna fill that hole and they're gonna put their face mask in the guy's chest.
Yeah, man, I was watching Dix just right off the kickoff. Me and my dad were always trying to figure out who's going to have the biggest hit. I was like, number 32, easy. I mean, he absolutely shattered the kid. And the other kid was coming straight for him, too. It was like a time collision. And, I mean, he didn't even go back. I mean, he obliterated the kid. And then whenever I was looking at Lundy, because I didn't really get to watch him as much this season, definitely linebacker-wise, but he's a lot faster than I thought he was. And we heard some things during camp that, he's big, how fast was he going to be? But I mean, he can move left and right pretty quickly. And he also, fullback wise, is solid. You need someone that's physical. And I know Nate has been really high on Lundy since the beginning, since he was interviewing him. And he's just an aggressive player that you want to have on your team. More of those guys that are getting
He's an aggressive person, man. Like he's a guy who if football doesn't work out, he's going to be the UFC. Like
32
is Dix, 46.
He reminds me of a cannonball. He cares about exploding up on people. And I'd rather see 32 in the game. Who's 14? Oh, 14. Too shallow. McCray. He drops in coverage. I love McCray. Too shallow in coverage. They dumping tight end balls right behind you. Want to know why? Because you're not dropping. You're not dropping to your zone. You're looking in the backfield. Like when you drop, if you know it's pass, drop. Get to your zone. Then look back. It's all about alignment, assignment, and technique. Like I said before, it all sounds great with the young guys playing. It all sounds amazing. It all sounds amazing with the effort. But still, as we talk right here today and tonight, they have to go up there on Saturday night and they have to play the game. Yeah. We can want it. We can want it for them. And it's amazing to hear other people feel the way I feel, and they want the best for an organization and for a university. But sometimes it's for us as fans, as alumni, it's tough because you want to see the same effort and passion you put into watching them on the field. And Nate, like I said before, I totally agree what I want to see. I want to see a lot of that. I want to see y'all put that effort, the undefeated effort on the field. We're not taking the L. You may come out with a loss, but you mentally and physically did not take an L because you went out there and battled your ass off.
I think it's also pretty crazy that it took 3 games to figure out who the starting quarterback's going to be, because I mean, Purdy will probably get some playing time later out in the season, but I need fans to realize, I know Jordan Travis had a good game. He actually was a manager on the field, which we haven't seen that in a long while. I mean, he was a manager, and then, to surprise everybody, the extra gift, the Christmas tree, he was throwing the ball. I mean, he doesn't have the arm as Blackman, the strength, but he still had an arm to throw a few bombs. And that's something that every fan was hoping to, if Jordan Travis has that, I mean, you got 3 running backs, one of them that can throw the ball with Jordan Travis, and you got Webb Corbin. Also, you're going to throw in Toafili, of course. But, I mean, you got another running back there that can also now throw the ball, and it's a solid thing. And it also now gives the staff a chance to have a quarterback and now figure out a way to make a scheme that fits him.
Exactly. What's going to happen is they're going to narrow that playbook for him.
Yeah, and it's been so confusing for, I
you
bet,
have a
also
like
the wide receivers.
And Eli, that playbook is this. When you got a quarterback like Travis, your playbook has to be here. And that playbook got to be everything he does great. His reads and that got to be great. His checks he got to know got to be great. And I think that's going to be that's something we're also going to look forward to moving forward because, like you said, coaching changes bring up a lot of toss-ups. Was there a spring for them to compete? Was there a real summer for them to compete? There was no camp. So you got to play guys that are practicing the best. And with Blackman having the most experience in the quarterback room, he's going to practice the best. I guarantee you he knows how to practice. So having a quarterback now, having a quarterback that can move, he's mobile, he can throw the ball from what we've seen. He throw it well enough for him to be the starter. That's another exciting piece, Logan. I think I agree with you 100%. He is a running back in the backfield. His feet are amazing. He is fast. He can wiggle, but he also can throw the ball downfield and get the ball out of his hands. And that's going to be a new aspect to the game. I don't think Notre Dame is ready for it. I don't think they've seen it all season.
And I think the big thing too is also watching Jordan Travis roll out of the pocket, and Blackman would do this, but after the first game, you pretty much knew he was going to either throw it away or it could be an interception. But Jordan Travis is still reading while he's running. He's reading, and the linebacker's pulling over to him. So boom, you've got a wide open Ontario Wilson, which went for a first down. And those kind of things are going to, if you want to have any kind of competition against Notre Dame, you're going to have that because there's going to be a lot of rolling out. And like you said, Los, he's also a running back, and he's got great vision, really great vision. And luckily, he's not the greatest passer, but you just need a little dink and dunks with him, and get some momentum going on that offense. It's just always been either a 3-and-out. You need to have an offense and a quarterback that can manage the time and roll down the field and give your defense some time to rest, and also be able to talk to the staff upstairs and kind of get your schemes correct. Well, let's do our score predictions. How about that? To end it off, score predictions for Florida State versus Notre Dame. They face off at 7:30. I think, is it ESPN? I believe. I think so.
NBC.
It's NBC, of course. NBC primetime television, gents. Who wants to go first? Florida State versus the Irish.
36-20, Notre Dame.
Whoa. Would you take that as a? I take that as a. I mean, most fans would say that's a win for FS.
35-21.
If it's within 2 scores, I think that's a good game for Florida State.
Yeah, 35-21 for you, Los.
To me, I think Florida State's got too much to overcome in the trenches. I mean, we've talked about Notre Dame's offensive line being the best in the country, and our D-line's gotten no push against Miami and Georgia Tech. I don't think they'll be able to get much push against Notre Dame, and we even just talked about the linebackers not being able to fulfill their roles. I think they're just going to be able to run it all over us. I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I think it's going to be like 42-16.
I can understand why you say that, because we have talked about the D-line all night. We have talked about bringing in a new recruit, a guy that's just committed, being a 4 or 5-star recruit, adding to the D-line. So, yeah, Austin, I can definitely understand where you're coming from and seeing that blowout, because if we can't stop the run on the first drive, then we're not going to be able to stop the run in the fourth quarter when we're tired. So, yeah, that's going to be something to watch.
Just got to hope it doesn't – just got to hope the game doesn't go the Miami route. We've seen – we saw that earlier this season, and also you look back at the Notre Dame game in 2018. I mean, it just wasn't a game. I mean, Cam Akers was there, and it wasn't a game. You just don't have a Dalvin Cook. You don't have a Cam Akers anymore. It's just not the case. You don't got a Karlos Williams. I mean, I still run over him, but
Logan, give me a drink.
Dealey, what you got?
Yeah, pretty much agree with what Austin just said right there. We talked about Notre Dame's rushing attack, and I'm not convinced that Florida State's defense can stop it. And, it just goes back to the consistent effort, not playing to their assignments all the time, playing more for themselves and the team, little things like that. And, that's That's how you go from being a good football team to a bad football team. I do think Florida State's going to be able to score some this game. I really like what Jordan Travis did last week. It was the first time this season that I've seen a Florida State quarterback show the ability to actually make their teammates better. Because Jordan Travis, he's just so versatile. Like, they're running those RPOs, and he would keep it himself and get outside the pocket. And it looks like he's about to take off and run for the first down marker. And then at the last second, he flips that little sidearm throw out to the sideline to the receiver, who goes and gets an easy first down. And it's just it's little things like that. James Blackman, his reads weren't on. I thought Travis, even though he doesn't have maybe the arm strength of a James Blackman, he was putting the ball in the right places for his receivers to go and make the plays. He was throwing correctly, and the timing for the routes. So I think we'll see some points for Florida State. I just don't think it's going to be enough because of the defense. I'm going to go Notre Dame 41, Florida State 24.
Okay.
One thing. I want fans, if fans are watching or listening, I want you guys to understand this. Blackman was not Taggart's quarterback. He was not Norvell's quarterback. And I love that kid. I got a lot of respect for that kid. That kid's been through hell of hot water. He came in after losing, I want to kind of say, the next son of Florida State, and that was in 12. And that was in Frenchie. And Frenchie was tough. That SOB sat in the pocket, took hits in the chest. And I think James learned from him, but their coach or coordinator was who? Jimbo. Jimbo's quarterbacks are pocket quarterbacks. Sit in the pocket, throw the ball, distribute. Jameis wasn't a huge runner. Blackman's not a huge runner. EJ wasn't a huge runner. Ponder wasn't a huge runner. Could they have the ability to run? Yes, they all did. But I think Blackman I think he's been in the fire for a couple years. Yes, his reads aren't always the best. Yes, he holds on to the ball too much, and he takes a lot of sacks. He throws interceptions. But as a player and a former player, he's a quarterback, and that goes through a lot mentally when your head coach or coordinator is constantly changing. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Taggart's system was built for him. I think he's a pro-style quarterback, and I think he needs to be in a pro-style system. And until he finds that, and it's not going to be in the college level, it's going to have to be in the professional level, I don't think he's going to be very successful, and he hasn't been. And it's not a knock on him, but he just hasn't been able to develop in the systems he's been in because he hasn't been in them very long each time he's been in one. Mm-hmm. Now, Travis, being a sophomore, he has time with Norvell. Norvell's not going nowhere. He's going to be molded for the next 2 or 3 years to become that head and the new leader of Florida State as a quarterback. I think if he plays decent or plays well, I think that moves forward. But to the fans that, Blackman has been through a lot, but he's still vocal. He's still around. He's still pumped. He's still a no through and through. And for that, I appreciate. I got a lot of respect for that kid. You've been a starter up and down and been through injuries, and all of a sudden it's taken away from you. Yeah, poor performance, but you've been there when they talk bad about you and you continue to play. You continue to take hits and get up and keep fighting. So that respect for that kid, I tip my hat to that kid. I hope he continues to compete. I wish him the best. But right now, 13 gives us the best chance to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I right there with you. I completely respect James Blackman. I mean, we posted a graphic stating, Jordan Travis being the starter, and James Blackman was one of the first ones to like it. Yep. And, you look after the game too, and how he's celebrating and hugging Jordan Travis. I mean, he's just a really good teammate. And that's what you would like to have on your team no matter what. I mean, definitely if he can bring some competition in practice. I mean, he's just a good guy, and, he went through hell. I mean, straight through hell right off the bat. I mean, Frenchie goes down, have to go the James Blackman route. I mean, it's tough. And we interviewed Kenny Shaw, and he told us, it is hard as hell to learn Jimbo's playbook as a wide receiver. I mean, I barely got to play. I mean, it is hard to learn that playbook. I couldn't imagine being a quarterback. I couldn't imagine.
Extremely.
It's got to be hell. I'm going to go Florida State. I'm going to go Notre Dame 38, Florida State 20. Which I think is not too terrible. I mean, that is, looking at the score right there, it's actually a pretty competitive game, most certainly. I mean, I just hope, like we've all talked about for the last hour on here, just got to have some competitive drive and try to light up this defensive line that we haven't really seen play at all this season. There's got to be some kind of defensive line, and this game is not going to be close in the first quarter. It's been poor, and you got to find a way to get takeaways. And shout out to Sante Samuel Jr. He's having a great season so far. I I like him. I love Asante. He's got the dog mentality. So
I think he's a first this year.
Say that again.
I think he's going to be a first-round pick next year. I think how he performs at the combine is going to tell a lot. Having 3 interceptions through the first couple games is a lot. Two in one half. I think he's showing that he can be a shutdown corner for Florida State. I think we have to put him in position to be, and I think that will help defense. If you isolate him on one side of the field, I think that can do a lot. We did it with, Greg Reed. We did it with LaMarcus Joyner. We did it with Jalen Ramsey. If he's playing that way, I would let him shut down the side of the field.
Yeah, I was going to say sometimes, if you ain't hearing his name or you kind of forget that he played Saturday, that's a really good thing. That's how we were whenever Darby and Williams were playing. I mean, sometimes I was like, wait, was Darby hurt? Did he play tonight? And then it was like, no, he did his job. Wide receivers didn't catch anything on him. So that's kind of the route Asante is going down. So shout out to 26, having a great start to the season. I'm going to go just skip off of the trivia just for now because I don't have it loaded up and I got to edit this and get this out to everyone this evening. But let me shout out our latest Patreon members. Let's see here. Shout out to – hold up. Let me go to number 1 here. If it'll load. Matthew Smith, Tracy Silks, Samuel Boatwright, Chris Guthrie, Samuel Walker, Johnny Murray, Jordan, Brian Ross, David Pierre, and Luke Payne. Shout out to those guys. If you want to sign up to our Patreon, you can do that at patreon.com/NoleGameDay. Definitely go check out the Discord. It's been rolling definitely on game days. It's fun to go in there. And if I'm at the game.
No, it's not. It's not fun to go in there.
Not well on wins. It was fun Saturday night. Yeah. It felt good to actually leave the stadium. It was a beautiful, beautiful time in Doak. The sunset. It was very nice. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to do it. That is our preview for the Florida State versus Notre Dame game, number 5 in the country. Can Florida State have a miracle and we come on here and tell a lot of lies and be like, oh, well, things are turning around. We'll see. We'll
be just optimistic. Call it optimistic, man. Don't just say we tell. We're optimistic, man. We hope for the best, man.
I'm half full on this show. I'm always optimistic, baby. Always. But yeah, that's going to do it. Thanks everybody for listening. You can listen on iTunes, SoundCloud, or iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube. Hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified. If you're on iTunes, rate us 5 stars so you'll be notified, or you'll leave a good rating. That will help a lot. But thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you guys later this weekend. See you guys.